Now, the rest of the story.
Welcome back to the rest of the story. I'm currently in no man's land, down at the valley, and where I'm at, takes a little bit of concentration, but I'm literally in no man's land. This is the lower part of the bottom, so we have the upper and the lower section. Lower part of the bottom in the swamp area, the low-lying area where it likes to collect and hold on to rainwater, floodwater. And this is, in all the years, which is kind of, it's broken up from the years that I first took it or ran it and on to now and for the foreseeable future. This is probably a once-in-a-decade job, but it's dry this year, and we've gotten rain sporadically enough to keep the crops growing, and this ground has dried out enough where it'll support the tractor and the mower. Now, I don't think Ryan's released his video yet in How Farms Work of us making this stuff down here, but they got stuck with the 40-20 and a load of hay about 500 feet behind you. And a week after, not even a week, it was actually a couple days after the fact, when I was spraying my nitrogen, that a little bit of rain we had from the time that we made it to the 2 days later that I came down and I was spraying, their ruts were actually level with water. I have some ruts that I made with the baler where I got too close to a swamp or a puddle or whatever you want to call it, where the baler tires on the one side had actually sunk in, where the ground is soft and you have a full bale or practically a full bale in. It cut in and it still has water standing in it. So in a dry year, I don't feel like being a monster. Rocket, move. Just give me a second. See, when you're down in this tall grass, it's home. It's home for different animals, and I'm not one of those individuals that likes running over animals with stuff like this and laughing my head off, because that's just psychotic. But I had a baby raccoon running ahead of the mower here, and granted, in certain situations they're annoying. I don't want them around my buildings, but out here in the middle of nowhere, he ain't hurting anybody. Alright, he's out of the way. I never saw the humor in that growing up, where there's kids my age that would literally go out of their way to beat animals to death. Rodents, possum, skunk, or not skunk, of course, that'd been hilarious. Raccoon, I'd rather just, if you're gonna put something down like that, just make it quick, not literally just drag it out. That just doesn't seem right. So as far as this ground through here, I think you guys can see it. Everything that I've cut, and then the deep green stuff that is the regrowth coming in. I mean, everything that I've cut up to this point, it wasn't dry enough when I was down here cutting this stuff where I could have gotten away with cutting it. Even if I could have, I probably wouldn't have. I mean, possibly, maybe I would have just dumped it out for bedding for my cows, but the reason I'm going through and I'm cutting it now, instead of trying to come down and cut and bale it, is largely just because I don't know what's in here. I mean, I did pull one tree. It wasn't a tree, it was just a stick. And the ruts are right there. Yep, there's still water in them too. I picked up one tree out of it that I saw from up in the hill with the skid steer when I got done hauling hay out of here. And my intentions are, I'm grinding up years old, multiple years worth of residue off of this, which is why I'm bringing the 76 down to its knees so much. So I'm not really trying to. I'm trying to grind this stuff up best I can, which I'm doing a really good job of it. Averaging, well, I'm gonna end up having to slow down here again, but on the stuff over there, with the mower all the way down, with the tractor WFO, which is wide DF open, I'll still bring the tractor down from about 2200 RPMs is wide open, and I was bringing it down to about 1900 under load, and then about 1800 when I was bogging it down just like that. But I want to try to do as good a job as I can in a one-pass plan here. I got some clumps I'm going to go through and grind up quick. I'm doing this full well knowing that I might not even get a chance to make any of this when I come back through and do second cut. But I am one of those people that the opportunity has presented itself. If I can come through, grind it up, make it look nice, because this will look really nice once the regrowth starts coming through it again. It'll match the stuff that I had first cut already, and then I'll try making it. If I can, I will. If I can't, I mean, I still cleaned it up. I mean, it's kind of more of a scenic thing too, where you do want even the ground that you don't own. I do like the ground that I'm renting to look nice. So as far as hay goes, because I have two videos of one of cutting, one of tedding, and I'm talking both times. The cutting video, the microphone wasn't working, so it was just the GoPro trying to pick up the noise. The tedding video I think is all right. I don't know where my desire is at to really even post it. Pretty much been focusing on everything but doing this anymore. We still got 45 acres of first cut here that I have to make yet, and then I got about 25 acres of my dad's that I have to make yet. And we were dry. I'm getting kind of concerned about whether or not we're going to get rain. We have enough to keep the crop growing, but as far as fuel in the tank, I think we're good up until it tassels, when it really is going to ramp up how much water it's going to use, and it might start getting a little hairy. Last Sunday we had probably upwards of an inch, but going forward here, they're calling for sporadic chances. For the next 10 days, we had our highest chance of rain today at 73%. I have just seen enough where you can see it on the windshield, but you can't even notice it on the concrete. So where I'm at there, I don't know, Ryan made the comment, brother Ryan made the comment, this could be a hay year, more of a hay year than a crop year, because the pastures, for what rain we have gotten, are not responding to the little bit of moisture we've got. I think it's going to take quite a bit of rain yet to wake the pastures up. Now our cattle, I didn't let my dad's cows out down at my place till May 1st, and then even then I didn't let them out across the whole farm, so there's enough feed down there that there's actually more feed than they're going to go through. I'm going to be moving the Black Angus bull of my parents down to my place. I'm going to put a couple of my cows, like 2 cows and their calves, down there with them, just to kind of keep them company, because I don't want to let the bull in with my dad's cows until the 1st of August. So at least that way my cows will, you know, keep them from going stir crazy. We bought a red Angus, went Postville to get him the other day. Really really happy with him so far. Temperament's awesome. Frame looks awesome. My red Angus, or my red cows, are just now starting to calve. And I just had one the other day. And my intentions are to leave the red Angus in with them, and hopefully that sets me up for some red calves next year. When it comes to my cows, I think I got my reds and blacks, but I'm not going to be happy unless they're primarily all red. It's the same when it comes to running ground. When I'm looking at ground to rent, if it really doesn't get me excited to run it, or if I see it as more of it's going to be a hassle or just a pain, not worth running it, then I'd rather not run it. Same thing with the cattle. I'm probably going to start focusing on getting some more reds around, which is more a possibility now that I actually have a bull for it. And then I'm probably going to transition my cows, the black cows and the calves over to my parents, herd more, and probably just more of a write-off. I mean, have them. I say they've done enough for me as it is. So as far as feed goes, I'm still running off last year's feed. The hay I got off down here is beautiful, absolutely beautiful, and as of late, from what I'm hearing market-wise, it's already worth quite a bit. I'm not really sure where I stand on selling any hay yet. Was waiting until the 1st November, 1st December, but from past experiences, being full well aware that the prices are good, it doesn't hurt to take a cookie off the cookie plate as it's being handed around. And as of right now, corn and beans prices are good on them, but they are dropping, and hay prices are better now than what they were when I was selling hay during the winter. So am I going to look at selling everything I have to potentially sell? No, absolutely not. As of right now, I'm leaning more towards everything that I have in storage right now, which is beautiful. It's testing it. It's at 72, 80 degrees as far as internal moisture or internal temperature, because I am keeping a close eye on it for heating. I did put acid on it, even though the stuff was almost too wet. It's insurance to me. That's also why I put 4 wraps of wrap on it instead of 3. Made some beautiful hay. You should be able to see that in the video on how farms work whenever Ryan gets around to posting it. Also kind of planning on the 40 acres of mine that I have to make yet. I mean, obviously I'm going to make it. I'm kind of leaning on just cutting it at this point because the rain forecast is awfully sporadic. And really looking to get it cut, get it made, and get that second growth coming back up through. The field that I have left is the field that I seeded down with that coon drill. And the original stand of grass is mature, it's headed out. My new seeding is there. Took a little bit of hit from all the dryness we've had, but what I'm thinking is letting it go until, it's because I'm going too fast, letting it go until late summer and then taking the second cut off it, treat it like new crop. My plans for down here change daily because I wasn't planning on making first cut off the valley, off of anything, until July, and we had that week of the week to actually make it, that I actually went ahead and dropped it and rolled it up. The only problem with doing that is I still had to side dress corn, which I just got done 2 days ago, so I'm working. Oh shit! Well, we just got that on camera. That's as far as we're going. So, rutted it up pretty good. that really didn't give me much time to think about that, which is why I'm doing this with the 7600, which is really my only option. Yep, we're cutting ruts. Time to pull the pin. I'm not going to get stuck doing this. Hell with that. But with the front wheel assist and the 76, I've never gotten stuck with it down here. I've gotten into some close calls, but at least when you have all 4 tires I can turn with the diff lock on, you're generally all right. Momentum is your friend down here, so, which makes sense because that's attached to, that's where it drains back towards where they got stuck with the 4020. So I don't think it was the 4020 that got stuck. That went through it all right. It was the hay wagon with a load of hay on it. So I mean, what do you really expect? But that's, I don't know. I'll try doing another pass here, because my whole intentions are, if I can get this cut off with the dry weather, kind of get this to dry out, get a nice regrowth of the stuff that's here, which it's breed canary, and I'm just gonna go ahead and say like swamp grass. But if it's one of those things where I can open it up, try to make of it as much of it as I can, it's more acres that I can hopefully keep making in the future. But if we get back to a wet weather pattern where you just, the last 4 years we were getting 3 inches of rain every time there was rain in the forecast, making much of anything down here just was completely unrealistic. So there we go. We don't really have mud on the tires. I mean, it was soft. I don't know if that makes any sense to my non-ag people, but I made ruts. But all you can really see on the sides of the tires is where they're brown from the mud, not actual mud stuck to the tires. So all in all, I'd say we're sitting pretty good. But at least I'm not white knuckling it. I mean, I almost get too comfortable thinking that I can't get stuck down here at the 76, but oh well. As far as going forward here, I got to work on all of our haying equipment. The tedder, the disc bind, the rake, the baler, the 76. The only thing this thing needs is really just some TLC. Air, engine, and cab filters need to be changed. And then clean it out, grease it, and be ready to go again. The waterways of my dad's, oh, what I gotta say, I got 45 acres, man, I forgot. I got 45 acres of mine left down here that I have to do yet. Yeah, that's looking sketchy. I'm gonna start taking half passes. Then I got 15 acres of waterways of my own, then 25 acres of my dad's. So, enough hay to go yet where my current plan is the stuff that I have in storage makes sense just to leave it there because it was made right. Ooh, maybe next time. The stuff that's in storage, it's tempting to sell a load a week, which is probably what's going to happen with my the rest of my first cut, because I have 2 sheds I can fill yet, but then I have no desire to try to wrap it, dry hay, and sell it. At current prices, it'd be stupid of me to not put wheels under some of it and get it gone. That's kind of where I'm at, because it seems like hay's kind of going to be kind of tight going forward. Even if we have rain currently, enough people got shorted from that cold spell, letting their cows out in the pasture. Then we had that 28, 29 degree weather spell for a week where the grass quit growing, the cows kept eating, and the cows caught up to the pastures. So now I'm hearing that's what a lot of the the cattle guys are doing. They're having to supplement their cows now because their pastures are used up. They just can't get ahead of the cattle. So maybe have a hay market going into the summer. But the problem is, you know, with every year comes different learning experiences, and what I found the first 2 years ago was I was selling hay for like 150 bucks a ton for stuff that maybe shouldn't have been going for that. And we hit the first of the year, and I think that's when the grain markets crashed, milk prices crashed, and that same hay that I was selling in like November, December was going for 60 to 70 bucks a ton January to February. Exact same stuff. And the only thing that changed is that commodity prices dropped. So that's how much it can affect hay prices. So that's that. It's the first time I've ever seen this cleaned off like that. My intentions are to try to keep it cleaned up going forward. I mean, I gained probably 3 to 5 acres. I'm going to paint with a pretty wide brush so far down here, and I think I'm going to keep farming. So you guys are watching the rest of the story. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. If you like the content on this channel, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, talk to you later.